it's my high honor and privilege to call the March 12th, 2020 school committee meeting to order. Our first order of business is the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Unfortunately, we have cause for a sad next order of business, which is a moment of silence for two members of our Walpole Public Schools community who we lost in the past couple of weeks. The first, Ms. Caitlin E. McCarthy, who was born and raised in Walpole and educated in her home and in part at Byrd Middle School by her devoted teachers and therapists. She was a valued part of our Walpole Public School community. And the second, Mrs. Ruth M. White, who was a longtime teacher at Fisher and West, then Johnson Middle School, and later in life went on to be a beloved Walpole Public Library children's librarian as well. So if we will have a moment of silence for both of them now. Thank you very much. Moving on to agenda item number 2, the Walpole High School student report. We have our favorite sophomore student reportee, Scotty Cameron, to give us our Walpole High student report. Scotty, take it away.
Thank you. So, good evening. My name is Scotty Cameron. I'm a sophomore at Walpole High School. Walpole High School is very busy with academics, athletics, and extracurricular activities. The Walpole High School math team had its most successful season in over 29 years, placing third in playoffs. They will be competing at Shrewsbury High School for the state meet on March 23rd. Additionally, the Walpole High School Theater Club is performing the comedy Love Rides the Rails or Will the Mail Run Tonight for families only on Saturday. Furthermore, the Walpole High School Pride Committee has also commenced the second annual March Prideness contest, where high schoolers get pride tickets for showing one of our core values. Every time a homeroom gets 10 pride tickets, they receive a ping pong ball, and at the end of the contest, one randomly selected ping pong ball will earn a homeroom a free Dunkin' Donuts breakfast. Currently, all winter sports are over besides hockey, which has the state championship game this Sunday at TD Garden at 1:15. The entire school has enthusiastically supported the team to this point, with over 150 students already committed to go through the fan buses. Everyone is hoping the game is still on despite the coronavirus news. Also, many other school activities have been postponed due to the coronavirus, like the JMS versus BMS basketball game, the dance company performance, and the high school school trips, including the Peru and Panama trip. The robotics team has also canceled all of its March competitions. Many students are very worried that the upcoming spring sports and extracurriculars will also be affected by the coronavirus. Despite that, the students are as focused as ever on their classwork since there are many national foreign language exams coming up. Also, sophomores have their MCAS at the end of March, but they would not mind missing that as much. Additionally, course selections for the next school year are also beginning. I am sure this coronavirus has added a lot more stress to your plate, so I would like to thank you for your dedication and relentless leadership, and I will be happy to answer any questions.
Thanks, Scotty.
Thank you very much, Mr. Cameron. Questions for Scotty? I think the BMS is happy to get a few weeks reprieve from having to play Johnson, but that's just a personal thought of mine. But thank you very much. We really appreciate you coming out this evening. Please feel free to stay, or if you've got exams tomorrow, we understand. Thank you.
Good job.
Our next order of business is an out-of-state field trip request, which we no longer need. So if I could have a motion to take no action.
So moved.
Second.
Motion second. All those in favor? Opposed? Abstained? 700. Thank you very much. We then move on to new business, art curriculum update and student recognition. Ms. Allison.
So, what I wanted to talk to you about this evening is we wanted to give recognition to the students that are here tonight that have entered the Scholastic Art Awards. And basically, it's a legacy that dates back to 1923. And the Alliance has partners that have more than 100 visual art organizations across the country that bring scholastics to local communities like ours. The Scholastics, along with that affiliate partners that they have, they bring it down to the local organizations, including school systems, art agencies, businesses, libraries, higher institutions, and what they try to do is to share a common commitment to the core mission of the program to identify and encourage the next generation of artists that we have. The submissions are juried by these luminaries, and some of them are actually past recipients. So what they look for is what best exemplifies originality, technical skill, and the emergence of personal voice or vision. So that's what you're going to see this evening. We put a slideshow together that shows the student work, and this year there were over 340,000 works of art and writing submitted, and some of the students here tonight have won gold, silver, and honorable mentions in this, so it's pretty prestigious for them. And we are glad to be able to celebrate it with our local community. There was going to be an award ceremony this Saturday, but that's been canceled in Boston. So I'm really glad that we have to do this tonight so the kids have something to honor with. So we did put together a slideshow. Do you guys want to come up and get some recognition? Don't be shy. Told them you were really nice, but they're kind of small. So these are our 2020 winners here, and I'm just going to scroll through, and these are the art categories that the children have to, they can submit their work into, and you can see that there's quite a few categories here singularly, and then there's even an art portfolio. If they wanted to, they could put in multiple works up to 8 pieces, and see how they do with other students across. For this was just Massachusetts, but the gold key winners, if you do win a gold key, then they go up nationally across students across the entire nation. So it's pretty impressive. So I will start here. The Gold Key Award is, their definition is the very best work submitted. Gold Key works are automatically considered for national level recognition. We have 2 Gold Key winners. Oh, how does? It'll go, okay. So this is Maya Shelton. Is Maya here? She didn't get to come. This is Maya's Gold Key, and it's a sculpture. It is a beautiful piece that you can't quite see it because its size is deceiving, but it's quite large actually, and it's really tactile. You want to go touch it. It's a really impressive piece. But this was one of our Gold Key winners, as is Yana Katsinskaya. Yana, this is her painting. Would you like to say anything about your painting?
Sure. So I painted this with gouache paint, and it's about how teenagers usually try to fake themselves and put fake masks on in order to be liked, rather than just, putting your true self there and, enjoy yourself.
How large was this one, Yana?
It was not really large. I'd say it's a regular paper size, but it was made out of cardboard, so it's on cardboard rather than
Nice, beautiful. And then, so Silver Key, it's standout works submitted that demonstrate exceptional ability, and we have a few of those people here too. Is Lauren here? Lauren Salardo's Silver Key in Printmaking. Do you want to say anything about your piece?
Sure, yeah. I made this actually in drawing and painting class last year, so it was the first time we used printmaking, and so we had to carve out it's a self-portrait, we had to carve out the lines on a block and then use different color paints and layers to paste it all together and make a final picture.
Very nice. What made you choose those colors?
I'm not sure. I think I just like the way they look together with the contrast.
Yeah, it looks great. Congratulations. Jacob? Come on over, Jacob. This is a beautiful mixed media collage. torn paper. I really like this one. I think the cone is what stands out to me the most, but I've seen it in person. Do you want to say anything?
Sure. I kind of just took a whole bunch of things and put them together in a way that I thought was,
Did you
Cool.
create the papers yourself, paint them yourself first?
yeah.
Okay, beautiful. Very nice. And I like the contrast from the orange and blue. That's what I can see most. It's a beautiful piece. May Totten did this is digital art, so she did this all by hand, but with her Wacom tablet, and did it with the computer as well. So would you like to tell them what Modern Evolution is?
I'm currently in AP 2D Studio Art and Design, and for the AP exam you have to create a sustained investigation of 15 works, and you have to choose a theme, or as they call it, sustained investigation, and I chose societal issues, flaws, conflicts, and such. And this piece that won the Silver Key was basically on kind of how kids these days are evolving through like technology, and I kind of used my own experiences as a kid. I've always been told to use my creativity and innovation in life, and nowadays I feel like kids are kind of being pushed to form themselves in ways that they might not want to express themselves, and kind of being formed to kind of just in ways that maybe they don't want to show who they are, but also the education system kind of pushes them to want to like not express themselves as clearly as they want to, I guess. So.
Nice, thank you. Yana, again, a Silver Key for a different painting, Subway. Tell them about that.
Sure, so this is my painting too. I did this with gouache and watercolor markers, and as you can tell, I really like gouache paint. So this piece is about how we have corrupted society nowadays, and there are only innocent people who are children right now who see the world through the color rather than like black and white colors. Yeah.
Isn't it great when you hear these, what they're
Exactly,
thinking
yes,
inside and what they show
yes.
you? So honorable mention. A lot of people think, oh, I only got an honorable mention. Actually, it's a wonderful award, and it's one of the awards. There's a lot of people who don't get any. So this is still another award, but it's accomplished works submitted to local programs showing great skill and promise. Okay, so that's our bronze, I would say. Savannah, do you want to come up? Savannah doesn't want to come up, but I can.
Yeah.
So this is honorable mention. She got this in the design category.
Our project was to make face cards for like a deck of cards. So I based mine off of how our sports teams were winning the Super Bowl and the World Series, and then I foreshadowed that the Bruins would win, but then they lost in their last game. And the Celtics were the jokers because they didn't win. So, yeah.
Very nice.
Very clever, clever.
And Kaylee D'Amato did a printmaking piece. It's a beautiful landscape, and it's reduction print as well, so it has at least three different reduction colors that I can see in there, and it's honorable mention too. And is Isabella here? No, okay. Actually, I love looking at this piece. Mrs. Mortale and I were saying that. It's beautiful. It's a sculpture, but there's so there's these little dolls, but with the puzzle pieces, and it's just so intriguing to look at, and you're wondering, what's going on, and why are the shoes tied? So I want to know why, but she won't tell us why right now. So. But it's a beautiful piece, so congratulations. Kara, do you want to say anything? So Kara's the piece is on the left, and it's just a detail of that very small corner down below, so you can really see how much detail is in this piece, how many little pieces of paper and pictures and things are in there. So.
The project was like to take real pictures and incorporate it into a collage, and so we made all those like colorful papers ourselves, and like it's kind of a mess, but I kind of like it. I don't know. I thought it came out cool.
So did they.
Yeah, exactly.
Grace, is Grace here? Okay. I like this too because it's in the photography category. Grace, it's a little bit hard to see with the lighting in here, but it has really great contrast of lights and darks, these repetitions of these heads and faces and the bottles, but it has a really nice impact to it. And it's pretty difficult to do photography for them. As you can see, it's a self-portrait of Annika. Honorable mention in the drawing and illustration category. It's a beautiful piece. Is it charcoal?
Yeah.
Okay, it's charcoal. And large? Quite large? Is this one of the really big ones? Yeah. Okay, so this is a very large piece. Difficult to do with the charcoal, but it looks beautiful. The line quality, the surface manipulation. These guys work really hard. And this is Karma. Karma couldn't be here this evening. This piece is quite large as well. It's about 3 feet by 3.5 feet. And each square, it's an alphabet. So it's a little bit hard to see with the coloring again here, but it's all different exotic animals. And it's done with little teeny pieces of magazine. So she cut out all those pieces of paper. All of it's from magazines. So you have to find the right colors, the right pieces, and it was a labor of love, we'll tell you that. Sometimes she maybe wasn't loving it, but it was a really good job. And this is Lauren's. It's okay.
I just remember like the prompt. I did this last year, and the prompt of it was like I had to sculpt like this vase, and so I took like this paper that you dip in water, and you just kind of like sculpt the outside of a vase, and then I don't know, I just took the shape of that vase and like turned it into sculpture.
It's beautiful. Even the way it's photographed with the shadows. It's really beautiful. And last but not least, Andrea also did an alphabet, which is quite large.
Yeah. So I had a really hard time actually picking this, and then so we have a whole term to work on this project, and my family goes to a ton of national parks, so it was like really sentimental to me to kind of like, especially the ones I've visited already, to like kind of think back to those family vacations while making these. So we had a whole term, so it was like 45 school days to do this whole entire project, and I chose watercolor. Wow. And the ending was like a lot of stress because I waited till the very end. So I did like 8 squares one night before it was due, but it was really worth it, and now it's up in my house, and yeah, I was really happy with how it came out.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Actually, it's really stunning. It's very quiet but beautiful. You know, just like the parks are. It's just awe-inspiring. So that is all of our artists, and they really do a lot of work. They do. It's very. Thank you for recognizing it. As you can see, we have a lot of different programs. There's drawing, painting, sculpture, contemporary art. We do design. We do interior design. You know, there's many different things that kids can do. Printmaking. And we are going to be adding photography next year, so that stuff is very exciting for us. So I appreciate that you honored them, and that we are allowed to do all this here. So thank you guys.
Thank you. Any questions from the committee or comments, Mrs. Gallagher?
I just want to say, I think that Walpole High has a great reputation for the art programs, but you guys being here helps to sort of inspire the younger kids to see all the possibilities. And you know, it's important to share with people that it's not just like a coloring class or something. Like, the thought that you put into your projects is really meaningful. So it's a great way for us to make sure the community understands that it's an awful lot of work and it's something to be really proud of. So thank you.
It's a huge process for them. There's a lot of work. And it's funny because, you know, they can tell you what they've done, and it's funny that it's very difficult to put your artwork up there for people to see when we're in regular critiques with our peers, but when there's an audience and all these people, it's you know, it has a different feeling to it. So it can be very kind of overwhelming, but it's they are very strong. The kids do a really good job. We have artwork. Some of this artwork will be up at, some of it's at Barnes & Noble right now. We'll put some in the district show. We have Art in Bloom coming up with Norwood that we do a show with. We have stuff at the Council on Aging. There's some beautiful pictures up there. So it's really nice that the kids get to have this showcase. So, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Excellent. Well, thank you very much for coming. This is a good time as we sort of transition into the rest of the business meeting. Should you guys want a picture, we can break for about 2 minutes if you'd like to take a picture up here with some of the students or out in the hallway. We just ask that afterwards you just exit quietly into the hallway. Unless you'd like to stay for strategic plan.
Good job.
No, I was gonna look at your picture, but I'm like, if I do, I think he'll notice, like, and play it on even better. I was like, shy is not the word.
You're out. No, like, okay.
Yeah. No, boys do art.
For me.
I know. Sometimes they hand them up around the school, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
Good job. Good job.
They are
Great
stars.
job, you guys. That's awesome. I remember her. Congratulations. Thanks.
Thank you very much. Thanks, Sandy.
Good to see you.
Take it easy.
Thank you. Great job.
Take care.
Yeah.
Excellent. Why is this so quiet and leaving? Excellent. She was so smart. Moving on now, we have strategic plan, first reading. Dr. Goff.
Yeah, so in your package, you have as you know, the strategic plan was conducted on February 6th. So you'll find changes that are made to the strategic plan. This is just a first reading for you. So what we did is the changes and strike-throughs are in red, and each goal priorities are highlighted in yellow. So what the recommendation is to take a look and make sure that we, instead of trying to do so many things at once, it's because it's a 5-year plan. What we did at the strategic plan meeting is highlight, okay, where is our focus for next year? What do we want to make sure that we accomplish? So those are highlighted in yellow. So we're just asking the school committee to review the draft that's created through the efforts of the strategic plan as a first reading. Feel free to email me or speak to me with any comments or feedback.
Any initial questions with Dr. Goff? Seeing none, the committee will take this under advisement. Thank you very much. Superintendent's report.
Okay. So, unless you've been living under a rock, most of my time has been consumed with meetings and receiving updates regarding COVID-19. I've been involved in several virtual meetings and conference calls with superintendents in the state to just keep a pulse on what is occurring in other districts and also sharing resources with each other. I'm also having frequent meetings with Kathy Garvin, she's our district nurse leader, Melissa Ranieri, Walpole Board of Health Director. I've been in constant communication with Jim Johnson, our town administrator, and Patrick Shields. In fact, he's having weekly briefings of all town officials. And we had one today, and we're going to continue to have one every week. District leadership is communicating daily as well. We had a meeting with all of our district leadership team at 8 o'clock this morning. There was a conference call on Wednesday with the Massachusetts Department of Public Health we were involved in. And then tomorrow morning, there's a conference call for all superintendents with the Department of Elementary and Secondary Education. So we'll be listening to that closely, hoping to get some commissioner updates and guidelines from the commissioner. And we'll be provided with that additional guidance. I sent a letter out to families today, just a couple of comments regarding the letter. This is fluid, it's changing daily, it's changing hourly. But effective immediately, just that we moved all parent-teacher conferences in the elementary, they're moved from in-person to phone call conference. So teachers will contact their parent or guardian's primary phone number is listed in Aspen to have those conferences. Effective Monday, all out-of-school field trips, international, out-of-state, and out-of-town performances and other large-scale school events, they're going to be canceled or postponed until March 31st. And we really hope to reschedule those, but again, we have to take this day by day. All building rentals to outside organizations are going to be suspended until further notice. And then unfortunately, all school events that invite volunteers or outside vendors that are non-service providers into our schools that present to our children, that's canceled until further notice. We're also not having any, educators will not attend any out-of-district professional development. And through March 31st and then we'll provide an update again. We're just going to continue to provide updates. We're going to remain vigilant in a clean school environment. Our custodians are engaged in the cleaning of school. They've augmented regular cleaning with additional sanitizing on our surfaces. And we've also purchased electrostatic sprayers that helps these large areas in order to disinfect them. Just to note that I included in my letter that I understand that many students will be disappointed and families by these cancellations or postponements, and I regret having to make this decision, and we'll do our best to reschedule as advised, but however, in the absence of additional guidance, that I really felt the need that we needed to make a quick, prudent decision. The letter also outlines some reminders, and it is continuing to be evolving. So we'll continue to seek out information, and we really appreciate the patience of everyone and that we're working together as a community. As of this afternoon at 3:50 p.m., our DPH has reported that, we have 0 presumptive positive cases. So as you know, this is fluid, this changes hourly. We have a protocol. The conference call tomorrow morning, may change everything. So I really want families to be prepared for possible school closures. All right, any questions or comments on that? Yes, we still continue to discuss the school budget. That's still occurring. So last Thursday, Mike Frisch and I presented to the Finance Committee. The focus of the meeting was to provide any updates since we last met, including any updated comprehensive budget sheet. We reviewed the personnel budget, any budget reconciliation, and we answered some questions that the Finance Committee had asked us to get answers to. And I provided you with just an outline of what occurred at the Finance Committee meeting, as well as any handouts. And as term as the middle school building project, I know we have the school building committee that we met Tuesday night, and I know Mark's going to speak to this. So like I said, we're doing the best we can. We're taking all the necessary precautions. We're following a protocol, and like I said, my last conversation was at 4 o'clock with the Board of Health, and if anything changes, she calls me. We've become fast friends.
Thank you, Dr. Goff. Very good. Questions for Dr. Goff? Seeing none. Old business, Massachusetts School Building Authority.
So the school building committee meeting took place on Tuesday night. So the next step in the process is to send out a request for services for a designer. And the design process involves considering the different options and multiple options for each of those options. So for instance, a new combined middle school, several different variations of what that could look like, considerations of different sites. If it's just going to be one middle school, several different variations of what that looks like. So there's a whole process that begins to start there. It's kind of exciting. And I think the other point, just to keep this quick, is I believe it's on the school website, an approximate timeline of the whole process has been posted, correct? And I noticed that's beginning to get shared on social media and so forth. So it's a little bit of a growing awareness about that. That's it.
Anything, Ms. Gales?
I just also wanted to mention that there'll be a lot of public meetings, I mean, not in the near future, but as soon as we can, just to update people and answer questions. We know people have a lot of questions. We've tried to address some of those already, but the good news is we have an organization that does this across the state, so based on their experience, they can share, what's worked, what hasn't. And I just found working with a professional organization like this, it'll be very helpful to advance us in this process.
Anything else? Ms. Geller? Excellent. Moving on, subcommittee activity.
Oh, we just had budget workshop this evening at 6 o'clock. So We have a finance committee meeting coming up on Monday where I believe they'll vote on the budget. And I don't tell, we have, asked for, school committee approved the budget for 4.79%. Town administrator raised from a 3.3, I think was the last, to a 3.92% increase, which leaves us with a gap of 401,668. We just took a look at that. We're looking at, our priorities in terms of the positions that are needed, what we're able to get with the 3.92. Looking at that health and wellness teacher that we need, the ESOL teacher, and the K free and reduced with, with that 3.92%, that we would be able to, hopefully secure. It still leaves us out with other needed positions. We talked about the ESOL teacher, the elementary counselors, the transition coach at the middle school, .4 computer science teacher at the high school, to do some the financial literacy classes, our dropout prevention work study coordinator, and then looking at amounts to reduce our full day K tuition. So we had discussion about that and get ready for our finance committee meeting on Monday.
Excellent. Any other subcommittee activity? Seeing none. Citizens' comments. Seeing no citizens. Approval of warrants, donations, and minutes.
Make a motion to accept the following accounts payable warrant from March 5th, number 220036, for the amount listed in your packets.
Second.
Motion by Ms. Denizio, seconded by Mr. Breen. All those in favor? Opposed? Abstained? 700. I'm sorry. Would someone like to take donations?
Yep. Make a motion to accept the following gifts and donations: to Fisher OPR and Johnson Middle School, Bay State Textiles and Recycling, $135.75. To OPR Artsonia Commission, $1,003.19. To OPR from Plumbing Solutions, the Sullivan family, an iPad in the amount of $399. To Walpole High from Walpole Women's Club, clothing for needy families in the amount of $300. And to Walpole High from Dedham Savings, Townwide Litter Cleanup Day, $577.
Motion by Ms. Denizio, second by Ms. Muccini. All those in favor? Opposed? Abstained? 700. I'd like to take minutes.
I left my packet in the car, okay. I'd like to make a motion to approve the regular school committee meeting minutes for February 27th, 2020.
Second.
Motion by Ms. Muccini, second by Mr. Breen. All those in favor? Opposed? Abstained? 700.
Yes, just to reiterate, just make sure that families, keep posted on social media if anything changes. Like I said, everything's hourly, and then tomorrow after the commissioner's update, then we will let families know, I'll let families know where we're going. So we have to take a look and see what, like I said, and Board of Health will be with me, as well as the team. So we'll make decisions based on his recommendation.
Excellent.
And continue to partner with the Board of Health and follow our protocols.
Thank you, Dr. Goff.
And it is an early release day, just to remind people tomorrow.
Mr. Breen?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor? Opposed? Abstained? 700.